Hey y'all, this is John Lehman. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about something that I hate, and that is noise. Okay, so whenever we record, we're in danger of picking up noise that we don't want. And sometimes in the recording situation, you really don't know how much noise you're getting. The signal to noise is hard to determine even when you put on headphones because you're in the noise a lot of times. It's often the case that we need to deal with this in post-production. Today, we're talking about a specific type of noise, and it's broadband, mostly steady state noise. Okay, we can have a little modulation, but mainly we're talking about steady state and broadband noise, not clicks or pops or crashes or things of that nature. When we get into this, we're going to be looking at two plugins today. The first one is from a company called Izotope, and they sell a package called RX10 and RX10-Advanced, and in both of those you can get a plugin called Voice De-Noise. So we're going to look at that, and we're also going to look at a product from Waves, and that product is called Clarity VX, and today we have the Pro version that we're going to look at. So let's look at the test setup and see how we're going to evaluate these. So here we're looking at the Pro Tools screen, and you see I'm recording because we want to capture the dry mic signal, and we also want to capture the result of the processing. So right now both the plugins are bypassed, and you'll also notice a meter on the screen. And you may have noticed this funny microphone that's pointed the wrong way. That's because this is an omnidirectional test and measurement microphone. I'm splitting this mic in SoundGrid, so that's happening inside my computer, and one of the splits is going to Pro Tools and the other one is going to Smart, and inside of Smart I can run this SPL meter that you see on the screen bouncing around. That's so that we can see how noisy my room is, how much noise I'm going to put in the room, and what my talking level is. Okay, so I have this on SPL C weighting, fast response, so we don't have to wait too long for it to settle down. But basically that's the setup. So you can see my mic coming in here on the first channel, and I've got these two plugins ready to go and a third one for a bonus test at the end. Okay, and then I'm going to record the output of these onto another track so that we can listen to the result. Now, we need noise, right? We got a pretty quiet room now. You might hear my chair squeaking, you might hear a little bit of fan noise, but we need noise to make this really a good test. So we're just going to use some pink noise here, and I know that's not the type of noise you're going to run into, although I will tell you a little secret. If you look at my headphone video that I did recently, for about the last 10 minutes, there was pink noise playing, because that was part of my test to make the measurements on the headphones. It was playing in through my SoundGrid system, and I wasn't listening to that, and it got into the recording of my microphone, and I didn't know it because I wasn't monitoring it as I was doing it. I used one of these plugins to get rid of that noise. So go watch that video and see if you can hear what's going on. Now, I will tell you, there is a few artifacts in there. This was really loud in the recording. It wasn't coming through the speakers. It was actually inside the computer where the two signals got mixed together, the pink noise and the microphone. And I used one of these plugins to get rid of that noise. Today, what we got to do is get some noise through our system to see what's going on, okay? So we're going to play some noise. And before we do that, we want to look at this meter and see how quiet this room is, okay? Let's say 43, 44 dB SPL, C weighted. That's reasonably quiet. I wouldn't want to use this as a recording studio, even though that's what I'm doing now. And you see I can get up to, 75, 80, depending on how much I'm talking and how loud I get. Now we want to see how much noise I'm putting in the room. So let's listen to some noise, and I won't talk. So about 66 decibels, that's the room noise plus this pink noise that's coming through my speakers. And now what I'm going to do is talk over the noise. So this is me talking over the noise and no noise reduction applied. And then we're going to look at clarity. We're going to play the noise and listen for a few seconds while I talk, and then we're going to take clarity out of bypass. Okay, this is me talking, still with the noise, and now I'm going to enable the plugin. So this is clarity that we're listening to. It's at about 75% of the processing capability. That's clarity again. Okay, now we're going to bypass clarity. I'm going to turn off the noise. And now we're going to look at RX10 voice de-noise. So we're going to turn on the noise and talk a little bit. And then we're going to take it out of bypass. Okay, so now I'm talking over voice de-noise. And I'm trying to speak in the same tone. And I'm the same distance away from the microphone. And the noise level has not changed. So we're going to bypass this again. And that was voice de-noise. Okay, so hopefully that was a good test for you guys. Clarity really does seem to perform a lot better, at least in this type of situation. But let's see if we can adjust them and get even better results, okay? So I'm going to turn the noise back on and we're going to experiment with voice de-noise a little bit more. We're going to change to the music setting now. And now we're on the music setting. And then we're going to change to surgical and see how surgical performs. We're going to lower the threshold and see if we can't get rid of some of the artifacts. And sure, we're going to get more noise now, but hey, sometimes that's what you got to do. Let's bring that back up. And let's put this back to gentle and dialogue. And let's take it out of adaptive mode. Okay, so now what I did is I learned the noise profile, and maybe we'll lower the threshold a little bit, see if we can't get a little better result. Right, we can run this all the way up. This would be 100% of noise reduction. Okay. We can try it on music and surgical. Maybe we can run this up a little more. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. I'm really a big fan of Izotope, so I'm willing to give it a lot of a workout to see if I can get a better result. But now we're going to give clarity a shot at doing a better job and see if we can't improve it a little bit. All right, here we go. And we're going to take it out of bypass now. And we're going to run this up to 100%. This is the most it's going to do. See, all of these bands are all the way at the top. And then we bring them down, and we can adjust this process amount this way. Okay. We can run this back up and see what happens. But we're just going to have artifacts when we get up above about 50. So let's run it down there and see how that works. Now, I told you we'd do another example here. I tried this with the RX and I really wasn't happy with the result, because even with minimal processing, the RX just messes up your voice too bad to do 2 in a row. But with clarity, we're going to try it. So these are in series now. We got 2 plugins, one after the other. RX is in the middle, but it's bypassed. And we're going to see how that works. An interesting test, wouldn't you say? Let me mute this and give myself a break here from all that noise. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking with me through this. I know that was kind of brutal listening to pink noise. So it's only fair that we look at the pricing of these products and how you can get them. If you look at Clarity the way we used it today, we could have gotten that result using Clarity VX, not the Pro version. For $30 right now, that's an amazing deal, and I would definitely do it. However, you know, it's really only good for broadband, consistent type of noise like what we saw today. So I feel like if you do that, you're still going to need other tools. Waves makes other tools that I used a lot in the past, but I've found that nowadays the Izotope tools for declicking and other uses are better suited to me, my workflow, and with the editor that comes with the advanced version of RX, I can do things that I could never dream of doing with the Waves products. Over here, RX Standard, just to get that voice denoise plugin, you're going to pay $300 and it's on sale. You're going to get some more tools, right? De-esser, de-clicker, and their new multi-tool. I haven't used that. I would never stack tools up inside of one plugin. I usually process them in individual little clips. If there's a click, I'll highlight the area around that click and process it if I'm not going to draw it out manually, which I do still. For broadband noise like we did today, that's a little different story. If you go with RX10 Advanced, you get this editor, that's outside of Pro Tools. You can, round trip your files out into the editor and back again. And for $800, I'd totally buy this again. I think that's what I paid for RX7 back when I bought it. If you're an audio professional, this is an awesome tool to have. $30 for Clarity VX, that would have done what we did today, no problem. If you get VX Pro, you can adjust some more of the parameters, and you can even reverse it so that you have the room without the voice, so you can remove the voice, and that's a pretty cool feature. For $200, I'd totally buy the Pro version just to get the flexibility of adjusting the parameters to get the absolute best result for the noise that I was dealing with. So, again, for this particular test, Clarity is the winner, but it doesn't do all the other things that you're going to get with the Izotope RX10 suite. And I believe if I would have stacked up some instances of Izotope and tweaked them and worked with them a little bit, I probably could have got a very similar result, but it would have been more work, right? And time is money. So if I got a fool with it, that's costing me money, right? I can spend a few $100 one time, and I can save a lot of time in the future every time I got to do a job that has a noise problem. So for me, Clarity VX Pro was definitely worth it, and I'm happy that I have it in my tool belt. And all these things are just tools that we use. So you have to choose the best tool for you, your budget, and your situation. And since you stuck with me this far, I'm going to tell you, I used Clarity VX Pro on the problem I had in the other headphone video. So go check out that series. There's one more to come on impedance. I'll get to that probably in the next week or so to help you choose a headphone that's going to be able to be driven to a loud enough volume on your particular setup. All right, so thanks again for joining me. Hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can know when the next video comes out. I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.